Family Violence Prevention Council held a press conference today to encourage people to wear purple tomorrow, October 17th. To encourage participation in their campaign, the council is hosting a virtual photo contest on their Facebook page. All participants that post on their Facebook page will have a chance to win a gift basket. Purple is the color of domestic violence awareness, and the council hopes to promote awareness while also showing solidarity to victims and survivors.
There were times when I felt like I could not go on fighting, especially as years went by. But I had to keep fighting for the sake of my beautiful children who deserved happiness, safety, and a normal life.
According to the council, it is believed that 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men are victims of domestic violence. In addition to wearing purple tomorrow, the council asks that you consider donation to local nonprofits to help fund services like counseling and legal assistance for survivors.